In my last video, I show you how to make tallow soda soap using hot process method, and many of you love it. But I also promised to bring you the cold process version, and here it is. Today, I'm going to walk you step by step through making hard, foaming and long-lasting tallow soda soap using the cold process method. This method gives you a smoother finish, better curing, and soap that is perfect for laundry and business. So stay with me till end because I will share some secret tips to make your soap turn out perfectly every single time. And trust me, you don't want to miss that. Welcome back. I will be using 250 ml of pure tallow oil. You can see me, I'm filtering my tallow oil because this is the last tallow oil I have at home. Thank God it was able to reach 250 ml. Remember, in our hot process method, I use 500 ml, but I don't have up to 500 ml at home. Then I make use of half of 500 ml, which is 250 ml tallow oil. Remember our step 1. I've already diluted my caustic soda into 150 ml of clean water. Caustic soda of 50 grams into 150 ml of clean water. Then I diluted it, I set it aside to cool down. The reason why you see it clogged together immediately is because my tallow oil have already cooled and my caustic soda is also cold as well. So if you want to make your own, I will advise you, let your oil be warm and allow your caustic soda to be warm. Don't use it when it is completely cooled down in order not to experience this kind of thick trace. Though it gel, it done, but it trace on time and it give us a very thick trace that is even hard to stir. But don't worry, I can work with it. But you as a beginner, or if you want to make your own, I advise you again, let your oil be warm, at least 40%, and let your lye solution also be at the same temperature as your oil. In order to avoid this quick trace of a thing. So after mixing it together very well, then I set it aside. I make sure I cover it in order to incorporate it to make it gel. By the time it's heated up, it will soft at least a little for us to work with. And the next step is to measure my soda ash. You know, it's a complete recipe. So we'll be using soda ash, we'll be using sodium sulfate and calcium. So now I measure my soda ash. Soda ash, I also measure 50 grams also. 50 grams of soda ash. And altogether we'll be using, let's say, 310 water, 310 mils of water, between 310 and 320 ml of water. Already I've used 150 ml to dissolve my caustic soda, and here is the remaining water, but I make it warm just because already my batter is traced already, it's hard trace. So I introduce warm water. I use warm water to dissolve my soda ash, sodium sulfate and my calcium. Then soda ash 50 grams, sodium sulfate I use just 40 grams of sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate I use 40 grams of sodium sulfate, and calcium I use 80 grams of calcium. I use just 80 grams of calcium. I measure everything and add it together in the warm water. After adding it to the warm water and I stir everything together, I make sure I stir it well together for all the ingredients to combine very, very well. You need to stir and re-stir it in order to have a smooth and blended ingredients. After stirring it together, I set it aside to continue with the next step. Now let's open our batter to see. This is our batter. After stirring it, we set it aside for it to dawn the more. So now it has traced perfectly. And you can see that it's not as strong as when we covered it. You can feel it that now it has, it has softened a bit because of the heat that melted it a bit. Now I added my soda ash solution, sulfate and calcium solution into it. I added it gradually. As I add, I stir it. I add again, I stir it until I add everything into the batter. Then I start stirring it gently. You will see that after adding it, it's loosening up. So, but again, I will advise you, if you want to make it, make your oil warm at least, because we are working with tallow. This is not bleach palm oil and it's not PKO. This is tallow oil that caked on time. Is a very hard oil. So, after adding all our solution into it, you can see it has softened up. So now I added my sodium silicate, and immediately I added it to it, I continue stirring it together. Sodium silicate will help your foam to lather, and it will give you a shiny look, and also it will help it to add on time. It will not allow your soap to be melting anyhow when using. So sodium silicate is very important when you are making your soap, especially with complete recipe like this. So I continue stirring it until everything blends together. Then what you see me adding now is my foam booster. Foam booster, I added just 30 ml. You can add 30 to 50 ml of foam booster. So 50 ml is okay. I added 30 ml of foam booster. And if you want to know how I make my foam booster, you will see the link in the description box of this video. You can check the link, foam booster Tesapon gel. Just click on it and make sure you wash it. It's right there on the link. Now our batter is ready to go into the mold. Prepare your mold before starting production. So here are the mold I want to use. I will be using this cup as my mold. Remember this type of cold process. You can use it for bar soap, laundry bar soap, and also as a soda soap. I've told you in hot process, it all depends on your package. The way you package it determine whether it's soda soap or bar soap. Remember to tap your mold after adding it to your mold in order to fill the space. So you leave it for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you mold it. Here is it 2 hours later. But I will advise you to leave it for 24 hours before you unmold it. Exactly 2 hours. I came back to check on the soap and I see that it's strong enough for me to unmold. And I gently unmold it. But remember, it's still soft. But you can unmold it 24 hours later. So you can see how beautiful it came out. You can see, so beautiful and neat. So always tap your mold whenever you add butter to your mold, so that in order to avoid any space like you can see how beautiful and shiny our soap came out. It came out perfectly well. So I want to cut it now. So I want to cut it so that you can see it that this soap is wonderful and it's very easy to make. You can see. Just follow the same procedure. Do it the way you see me doing my own. And at the end of the day, you will arrive at this very point to have a beautiful soda soap like this. If you haven't seen my hot process tallow soda soap video, I will link it here. Watch that next so you can compare both methods and choose the one you love best. I hope you have learned something in today's tutorial. If so, kindly subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. And to my return subscriber, thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. See you in the next video. Bye.